You're watching Southern California's CBS 2 News at 5:30.
Police in Northridge are on the manhunt tonight for this man, an accused sexual predator still on the loose. Good evening, everyone. I'm Juan Fernandez in Today for Harold Green.
I'm Laura Diaz. Here's the latest at 5:30. The man sexually assaulted a woman last month after breaking into her apartment, and he may have been spotted early this morning. Police say the suspect broke into 2 other apartments in the past 2 weeks near Cal State Northridge, and that is where he apparently tried again today. CBS 2 News reporter Laura McLaughlin is live in Northridge with the latest. Laura?
Well, Laura, in all, so far there have been 3 confirmed break-ins, one which led to a sexual assault, and now, as you say today, possibly a 4th. Because of that, police out here are stepping up their efforts, and students have been put on alert. Until now, the biggest concern for students at Cal State Northridge was finding parking and cramming for exams.
The description of the guy, like what he looks like.
But now there's something else they're studying. The face of this man, wanted for sexually assaulting one woman and breaking into 2 other homes in the CSUN area.
I live very close to campus. That's about a half of a mile away.
And how close to the 3 locations?
Extremely close, very close, so much so that it scares me.
Celia Garcia lives only a few blocks away from one of the locations police say the suspect has hit. Does it kind of put a damper on the whole college experience?
It does, because you shouldn't have to be scared for your safety when you're going to college. We're here to learn. We're not here to be, watching our backs, turning around for rapists and criminals.
So far, the 6-foot, clean-cut, college-aged African-American suspect has reportedly hit Reseda, Merida Street, and Zelza Avenue. All 3 times he was seen wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt with basketball shorts and entered through unlocked doors. Is that pretty common for students to leave doors unlocked?
Yeah, because you feel comfortable. You feel like, you could trust the people around you because everybody's the same as you. When you have that on the door, some rapist is going around, you're like, oh my God, you get scared and you question everybody.
Looking over their shoulders, walking in pairs, and keeping a close eye on their surroundings is an adjustment for young students who are away from home for the first time.
You're just focusing on school and other stuff, and that's not really something that you think about a rapist trying to come in and, assault you. So now it's something that I have to look at.
Another thing you have to worry about.
Exactly. Now I lock both the top and the bottom locks. At first I really didn't. It didn't really mean anything to me, but now that the rapist is out, you have to be more careful.
Now, besides keeping your doors locked, here's another tip. Police tell us that the 2 of the women actually simply scared the attacker off just by screaming. Tonight, we're live in Northridge. Laura McLaughlin, CBS 2 News. Juan, back to you.
Thanks, Laura. Another mistrial for the man who killed 3 people during a shooting rampage at an Anaheim hospital. For the second time, a jury in the penalty phase has been unable to decide whether doomed Trin should spend the rest of his life in prison or be put to death. The vote today was 11-1. A previous jury deadlocked 10-2. Trin was convicted in August of the 1999 shooting deaths of 3 hospital employees. He blamed the hospital for his mother's death.
A 3-year-old Inland Empire boy is on the mend tonight after he was attacked by a vicious dog. Little Alex Kachua was walking home from the store with his mom on Tuesday when a pit bull mix suddenly attacked the boy for no reason. The dog grabbed the toddler's arm and violently began shaking him.
I'm running outside, and then I seen the mother screaming and crying and saying in Spanish, "Ayúdame, help me, help me," and nobody would help her.
The owner's son finally got the dog off of the little boy. She claims the animal broke free from its chain. Alex will be all right, but the dog will be destroyed after it's tested for rabies.
The City of Angels is about to become the City of Lights. In just a few minutes, LA's official holiday tree will be lit up. Here's the scene at the Ernst and Young Plaza in downtown Los Angeles. The centerpiece is 65-foot tall Douglas white fir. There are more than 6,000 ornaments, 2,000 bows, and we'll see in just a few minutes it light up live.
It looks pretty light already. Could it get any prettier? Well, another holiday lighting ceremony, this one at the White House. President Bush helped light the country's official menorah for the Jewish celebration of Hanukkah. Praise your saving power. This is the 6th day of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. A choir from a New York school sang as Mr. Bush helped 2 young girls light the traditional candles. Hanukkah celebrates the Jewish victory over the Syrians and rededication of the temple at Jerusalem. All that happened 2,300 years ago.
Laura, the stork made a special delivery on a busy Southern California freeway this morning.
Wow! Baby's out? Yeah, I got a baby in my head.
That was the 911 call made for this bundle of joy. Mom and Dad couldn't make it to the hospital in time, so Dad had to pull over on Interstate 5 near Atlantic, call 911, then do a little obstetrical work. But Dr. Dad made a tiny miscalculation just after the baby was born.
When the umbilical cord came out, maybe the dad thought it was a male organ.
Well, Dad later learned he had a baby girl. Both the mother and baby are doing fine this evening.
He's just a dad, not a doctor. Well, LA County is closing clinics, so why is it spending more than $800 million to rebuild one hospital? That story coming up at 6.
But first, it's best known for Slurpees, but would you buy a gourmet meal there? It could be the new wave in fast food.
It's being called the best movie of the year, starring 3 of the biggest female stars of the day. David Sheehan looks at the star of the award season coming up.
Everywhere I am attended by doctors who inform me of my own is the beginning of happiness. I have.
The crew of the space shuttle Endeavour will stay aloft at least another day after cloudy weather delayed today's scheduled landing. The shuttle was expected to touch down in Florida, but Mission Control said it was a no-go because of the deteriorating weather. Endeavour's giving a ride home to the crew of the space station. Those astronauts have spent the past 6 months aboard the orbiting outpost. The shuttle's expected to attempt another Florida landing tomorrow, but if the weather won't cooperate, Endeavour may end up touching down at Edwards Air Force Base right here in Southern California over the weekend.
A retro burlesque show takes Hollywood and nightlife in general by storm. And CBS 2 entertainment editor David Sheehan has a look at the first step in the awards season already, David.
Can you believe it? It's not even the end of the year and already. Well, these people always get a jump on everybody, though. It's called, it's the group of film critics, historians, and professors in New York. They're called the National Board of Review, you see. And once again, they gave the annual award season a jump start today by announcing their awards long before the Oscars and the Golden Globes have even done their nominations.
Mrs. Dalloway said she would buy the flowers.
The Hours, starring Oscar winner Meryl Streep and Oscar nominees Julianne Moore and Nicole Kidman, was named Movie of the Year by the East Coast-based Film Board. Based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Hours follows 3 women in 3 different eras who are all tied to Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway.
We ladies are never what we appear, and every girl has her secrets.
Julianne Moore was named Best Actress by the Film Board for another movie, Far From Heaven.
Mom says you're kind of, like a ladies' man.
She said that? You need some help with the ladies?
Campbell Scott got the Best Actor prize for Roger Dodger, in which he stars as a shallow womanizer teaching his nephew about dating during an eventful night in Manhattan. Philip Noyce got the Best Director nod for 2 films, The Quiet American and Rabbit Proof Fence. The documentary honor went to Bowling for Columbine, a look at America's fascination with guns and violence.
I'm here to open up an account.
Okay, what type of account would you like?
I want the account where I can get the free gun.
Chris Cooper got the Best Supporting Actor award for Adaptation, and Kathy Bates won Best Supporting Actress for About Schmidt. Obviously, a lot of these pictures haven't been out yet, but they are about to come out, and these awards will certainly help them. Another sort of early awards announcement came today from the People's Choice Awards. Not the actual awards this time, but the nominations, voted on by a Gallup poll of the people who make up the audience.
Favorite television comedy series. A little bummed about this one. Everybody Loves Raymond.
Still standing star Jamie Gertz and co-star Mark Addy made the People's Choice announcements in Beverly Hills this morning, revealing that Everybody Loves Raymond will compete against Friends and Will and Grace for Favorite TV Comedy. Raymond co-stars Ray Romano and Patricia Heaton were nominated for Favorite TV Performers. Television's #1 show, CSI, was nominated for Favorite Dramatic Series, while CSI Miami is among the nominees for Favorite News Series.
Did you want to see some brochures? Found them.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding had a double nomination for Favorite Movie and Favorite Comedy Movie, while Lord of the Rings is also a double nominee for Favorite Movie and Favorite Dramatic Movie. And that one is about to open, too. Now, the People's Choice Awards will be handed out right here on CBS on January 12th with Tony Danza hosting. Well, anyone who's ever heard of the Pussycat Dolls, I think, knows it's sort of a revival of the old-time strip joint burlesque show. Usually confined to small clubs, but last night, the dedicated gang of big-name gals took their act to a big-time theater. Pamela Anderson got into the spirit of things, singing and bumping and grinding last night at the Henry Fonda Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, much to the delight of the audience. Also on stage, former sitcom star Christina Applegate.
The guilty pleasure without the guilt. You know, I think you bring people in because they think that they're going to see something and they end up seeing something else. We had Gwen Stefani, Christina Aguilera, a lot of different guests, and you know, they've all been great and they've all wanted to be a part of it, so it's exciting.
And it's provided exposure. The Pussycat Dolls are on the current cover of Maxim magazine.
These Pussycat Dolls are real. I've seen them a few times, and look at the old ticklers going, if you know what I'm saying.
It's sexy and erotic without being in your face, and I think it's great.
Straps pop, flesh is exposed, i.e. spillage, oops, 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 oops. Catch, 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 and it's all there for loveliness to see.
And it gets racier. The Pussycat Dolls plan to take their show on the road for a cross-country tour, but the old question of will it play in Peoria does make it kind of a dubious undertaking. Or what's the other question? Will it click in Columbus? Play in Peoria? Yeah, I know.
We got it.
Test markets.
Thanks, David.
Oh.
Thank you.
It's a plan that could sober up Southland drinkers, why one lawmaker wants the liquor industry to pay for California's deficit.
And it may cost you more the next time you book a flight online. We'll tell you why.
And forget the North Pole, we found Santa's little helpers in Long Beach.
You can make the holidays sparkle for a less fortunate child or teen in your community.
Share the spirit of the season through the Chips for Kids toy drive. It's simple. Take a new unwrapped toy to one of these locations and help KCAL 9 and CBS 2 bring some holiday cheer this year.
A new development over the fight to remove "Under God" from the Pledge of Allegiance. A San Francisco appeals court says Michael Nudo has the right to sue on behalf of his daughter. Nudo is an atheist. He filed a suit earlier this year, and in June, the appeals court ruled in his favor. But Nudo's estranged wife challenged his suit, saying that he does not have legal custody of their third-grade daughter. Today, the court ruled in Nudo's favor. This means the state appeals court is now free to uphold Nudo's successful challenge to the pledge.
Cash-hungry California should impose a liquor tax to help reduce its budget deficit. That idea from LA County Supervisor Zev Yaroslavsky didn't go down very well with the liquor lobby. They say booze is already subject to sales and excise tax, but the supervisor blames alcohol for many county costs, such as trauma room care, heart disease, and criminal justice. The budget deficit is expected to be between $21 and $30 billion over the next year and a half.
Airline financial problems have caused some of those discount internet ticket brokers to charge for their services. Expedia.com has become the latest internet ticket broker to tack on a $5 fee. You'll pay that charge every time you book a ticket on Expedia. Competitor Orbitz already charges the fee. Other internet ticket companies may soon follow suit. The brokers need the money because financially struggling airlines have cut the commissions they pay travel agencies.
Well, Laura, it's not exactly the spot for a romantic dinner, but wait until you hear who is selling sushi now.
I'm Jim Hill. Coming up in sports, the Lakers try to start a mini two-game winning streak tonight in Utah, while in college football, USC quarterback Carson Palmer might be one step closer to winning the Heisman Trophy. We'll explain next in sports.
I'm Gretchen Carr with a look at what's new at 6 o'clock. Here, an angry William Bratton defend the LAPD's pursuit policy. Also, we'll show you the filthy conditions animal welfare officers found when they raided one LA pet store, and a stunning discovery at the Belmont Learning Center. Does it spell the end for the troubled school complex? Those stories and more coming up at 6 o'clock.
When you think of 7-Eleven, what comes to mind? Nachos, Slurpees, candy bars? Well, it's time to think again. Your corner 7-Eleven is going gourmet. The chefs in the kitchen are slicing and dicing, carefully picking out the freshest ingredients. No, this isn't the kitchen of a top-notch LA eatery, but the kitchen of 7-Eleven.
Our mantra really is to offer a high-quality, fresh product at a fair price.
Coming to 692 Southern California 7-Elevens, get ready to feast on fresh deli sandwiches, California rolls, fresh donuts, cookies, muffins, and croissants. California rolls at 7-Eleven? You heard right. Customers who gave it a try at this Burbank store say, not bad.
Again, very good.
Tastes fresh, tastes good?
It tastes fresh, very good. Doesn't have a stale taste like it's been left in the refrigerator. Very good.
The price for 6 pieces, $2.99. Are you getting a big bang for your buck or what?
Actually, this is better than some of the stuff I've had at Ralph's and some of the other stores.
7-Eleven guarantees freshness. That will be accomplished by store managers placing the food order the night before it's supposed to arrive. Most of the food, like these sandwiches, come from local suppliers.
Our salad supplier, they specialize in salads, and they do a fantastic job. We have a company that specializes in fruit salads. We have some folks that actually specialize in making sandwiches, and they do a fine job with using our ingredients, which are high-quality ingredients.
From assembly line to your store, in most cases, overnight. If you had a choice between this or this, the choice will be an easy one to make. All 692 Southern California 7-Elevens will be offering the fresh foods starting tomorrow. The highest price we saw was for a crab and shrimp Louis salad, $5.99.
Not your father's 7-Eleven.
That's right.
It's changed a lot. Turn to Jim Hill right now. We're talking about a USC athlete who is being honored for a personal best. Great day.
Oh, this could be the beginning of a truly great offseason for him, even though they do have a bowl game coming up. It has been an absolutely dream season for the USC football team, and especially for quarterback Carson Palmer. Now, we all know he should be a front runner for the Heisman Trophy, and today he got a fabulous award. Palmer was named the winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. It's annually given to the nation's top senior quarterback. Now, he threw for over 3,600 yards and 32 touchdowns this past season. Palmer beat out one of his chief Heisman Trophy rivals, and Ken Dorsey of Miami, for the award. The presentation will be made in Louisville a week from Friday. It will be made by Hall of Famer Bart Starr. We all know winning has not come easy for the Lakers this season. At 7-12, the team is obviously struggling, but tonight in Utah, the three-time defending champions have a chance to make it 2 wins in a row. It's been a taxing start for head coach Phil Jackson's team. They even had a tough time with lowly Memphis just last night. Slava Medvedinko's pass to nobody sums up the Lakers' erratic play recently, but while Medvedinko was handing out souvenirs to the fans in the front row, Shaq was getting even closer to some of those people. He gets a layup right here and then lands right in the laps of a couple of fans. He finished with 28 points and 9 rebounds last night. He also had 7 block shots, but Kobe finished with another triple-double, 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. The Lakers won it 101-91, and for Kobe, well, he thinks the sky's the limit once that Shaq gets back to full strength.
Yeah, he's doing damage already. He's just only going to get better, and he's going to pace himself and take his time and get his timing back, get his rhythm back, get his legs back, and he'll be the first one to tell you he'll be another week, couple weeks or so. No, there's no reason to be concerned. I mean, it's too early in the season to be concerned. It really is. I mean, we've proven that we'll fight through any type of adversity, and I think why people are really up in arms right now is because we're doing something that nobody has ever done before.
Meanwhile, the Jazz are well aware of how dangerous the Lakers can be once Shaq and Kobe get back to full strength. And it wouldn't surprise them if the Lakers got hot and run off a winning streak in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, probably. They probably will. They still the Lakers, still got Shaq and Kobe, so, they're going to get it together. Just hopefully later than sooner.
What is it like to play Shaq? Physically, you get tired, fatigued, because, in my case, I'm playing against someone who outweighs me by over 100 pounds or so. And just putting your body on him constantly, it does wear you down a little bit, but you just got to battle through it.
Physically, it just really wears you out. Now, in college basketball, Princeton has a reputation of being a very good outside shooting team, but last night against Monmouth College of New Jersey, the Tigers took their ability to hit long-range jumpers to the extreme. Seeing is really believing. That was Ed Persia who beats the second-half buzzer with the length of the court shot. Now, let's watch it again. He takes the inbounds pass, and from 80 feet away, he banks it in for the game winner. Princeton won last night by a score of 60-57. That's the kind of luck that the Lakers could use tonight. We'll have those highlights for you at 11 o'clock. That's sports.
Couldn't they?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Right. Strong words now from LA's top cop on the matter of police pursuits. That's on the news at 6 o'clock.
I'm Linda Breakstone at the school board, and I'll show you the actual earthquake fault line they discovered under the Belmont Learning Center coming up.
But first, we found a whole bunch of Santa's elves hanging out at a local hospital. Stay with us. It was a time for giving today for kids who need a whole lot of loving at Miller Children's Hospital in Long Beach. The hospital cares for children with cancer and other chronic diseases. Today, the kids were Santa's elves, busy making presents for friends and family. The hospital's Child Life Department coordinates volunteers to make the holiday season special for the kids. Everyone from the police department to students at Cal State Long Beach helped out today.
The Child Life Worker helps our kids to play. And play is the work that helps children to recover and be happy in the hospital, and they just bring love and affection to our families and kids, and we can't do without them.
Just about any day, you'll find more than 100 children in the hospital. Holiday season and the year-round, volunteers make sure that the kids will always have something to keep them busy and happy. Good for them. That does it for CBS 2 News at 5. I'm Laura Diaz.
And I'm Juan Fernandez. Thanks for watching. Let's turn it over now to our 6 o'clock team.
Juan and Laura, thank you. Here's what's happening. LA's new police chief angrily defending his department's pursuit policy after yesterday's tragic crash.
Animal control moves in on an illegal pet shop, and they find dozens of animals living in filth.
Michael Jackson told her to go to hell today. An LA attorney tells him where to go. CBS 2 News at 6 starts now.
You're watching Southern California's CBS 2 News at 6.
To stop treating these pursuits, both in the media and the public at large, as entertainment.
A terrible crash triggered by a police chase. Tonight, LA's top cops sounding off on a pursuit policy. Good evening, I'm Drew Griffin.
And I'm Gretchen Carr. Our top story at 6 o'clock, that horrific crash in Sylmar cost a baby boy his left arm. It is the latest case of an innocent bystander being heard during a police pursuit. And tonight, LA's new police chief has some strong words for anyone who tries to run from his officers. CBS 2 News reporter Mark Coogan following this story in our newsroom now. Mark?
Gretchen, within the hour, LA Police Chief William Bratton sounded off about police chases. He predicted the current LAPD pursuit policy will change. But he said suspects should be blamed for running from police and the media should be blamed for fixating on pursuits. He was only 2.5 weeks old when he lost an arm in a shattering collision that ended a police pursuit in Sylmar yesterday. Today, doctors at Children's Hospital said the baby boy was in serious but stable condition. And people like City Traffic Officer Barbara Hartsfield brought gifts to a stricken family.
People say, well, I used to complain because I had no shoes until I saw the man that had no feet. They have their child and they can love him.
Police confirmed the injured boy is the nephew of an LA police officer. The baby is the latest innocent victim of crashes involving drivers running from LA police. But LA's police chief said the media bears part of the blame.
We need to stop treating these pursuits, both in the media and the public at large, as entertainment. The idea that we show them continually on the news, live news, and now we even have TV shows that literally it's like watching a sports event where commentators will make comments about, whoa, watch that, and you know, this is about lives. This isn't about entertainment.
Chief Bratton predicted there will be, quote, fairly significant modifications of the LAPD's pursuit policy when the police commission takes up the subject early next year. But he got angry when asked if police should back off on chasing suspects.
You have police to control the streets and to enforce law and order. So let's not be pointing the finger at the police.
Not pointing the finger at the police.
It puts their lives at risk. It puts their lives at risk also.
The chief said whatever policy modifications are made, there always will be chases. Last year, LA police were involved in 769 pursuits, slightly more than 2 a day. The year before, there were 597. Live in the newsroom, Mark Coogan, CBS 2 News. Gretchen, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Police are still on the scene of a deadly shooting in downtown Los Angeles. One man is dead, and the hunt is on right now for the gunman. CBS 2 News reporter Michael Brownlee is live in downtown now with the very latest on this. Michael?
Well, Gretchen, we're on the corner of 8th and San Julian here in downtown Los Angeles. The 6th floor of the Gaylord building goes from a fabric cutting business to a crime scene this afternoon. A double shooting. One man is dead. A woman shot several times. She's been taken to the hospital. We have just learned from the LAPD there is a connection between that woman and the triggerman. A man walks into the Gaylord building just before 4 o'clock this afternoon, goes up to the 6th floor armed into a garment factory where 20 people are working.
Approached a young man and shot him while he was working. Turned around, walked across the room and shot another female in the room.
Lieutenant Monsu says the alleged gunman and the female worker who was shot had a relationship, perhaps were married.
It's my information that they were husband and wife, but I don't know what that means in terms of the relationship, whether it was estranged or anything like that at this point.
I saw 2 people, they got wounded. One of them was a girl, a young girl. He was shot here. And the other one, there was a guy, he was shot, I think, in the face.
The unidentified man who was shot died about an hour ago. The woman was taken to County USC. Witnesses are helping detectives in their search. The gunman got away. Now, the gunman was last seen traveling northbound wearing a blue sweatshirt here on San Julian Street. That is the latest from downtown Los Angeles tonight. I'm Michael Brownlee, CBS 2 News. Drew,
Michael, thank you. Los Angeles has a new anti-gang czar who will try to crack down on gang violence in Los Angeles. Michael Hillman, promoted to deputy police chief and sworn in today. His job to coordinate an all-out assault on the gangs. There's been a string of deadly shootings recently, especially in South Los Angeles. Hillman says the LAPD can make a difference in the fight against gangs if the community helps.
And our mission here within the Los Angeles Police Department is to serve our great community and to make sure that we keep this community safe.
Hillman is a 35-year veteran who's been a patrol officer, a SWAT officer, and a member of the Anti-Terrorism Division.
Not just bad, but devastating news for the beleaguered Belmont Learning Center in downtown LA. It might have to be scrubbed because it sits right on top of a newly discovered earthquake fault line. CBS 2 News political editor Linda Breakstone asked the superintendent why they just now discovered the fault. She is live in downtown LA. And Linda, that's kind of the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it?
And he didn't have a great answer for it, Gretchen. Schools Chief Roy Romer is said to be personally devastated by this new information.
Now, none of the three of us were here when this began, and I can't tell you, but it is easy to miss this. This is something that is easy to miss.
And miss it they did. An earthquake fault running under two key school buildings on the Belmont campus.
So this is the flea on the back of the camel, but the problem is the flea is right there where it could bite Building 1 and the administration building.
You can't build a school within 50 feet of an active fault. So our job was to determine, is there a fault in this property? And there is one throughout the length of it. We did very extensive trenching. It is very identifiable. You can walk out there and see it.
This is video shot today at the Belmont site.
That is the bottom line, that the design that we had for Belmont and we're trying to execute isn't going to work. It straddles a fault.
For several months, the battle waged to build the new Belmont High School or not. The board on a 5-2 vote agreed the methane gas was too dangerous to ever risk the health of 5,000 students.
Belmont would be the iceberg that you've crashed on.
But students and parents wanted it. So the new superintendent found a way to open Belmont by going through the private sector. Now that process was underway when the seismic problems were discovered.
It is a very sad day for me because I had a lot at stake in trying to build Belmont.
Now he has three options. 1, start over at a new location. 2, spend another $70 million to finish the smaller side, which is on solid ground. Or 3, start a new school on what was to be the football field. And Romer says we now expect 30 to 60 days of hearings and discussions with experts on which one of those options the school board may pursue. I'm Linda Breakstone reporting live from downtown Los Angeles. Now back to you, Drew.
Linda, unbelievable with all the consultants involved that they didn't find this earlier. What happens now to the building? Are they going to tear down what is there, or can they use it for something else?
It depends on the option they choose. According to the law, you can't put a school there, but certainly you may be able to put something else there. So there is that option of selling it to a private developer.
Unreal. Thank you. The federal government has turned down United Airlines' request for billions in loan guarantees, and now it may be impossible for that troubled carrier to avoid bankruptcy. The federal panel that rules on loans had no confidence in United's business plan and doubted whether the airline could ever pay back the $1.8 billion that it was seeking. If United does declare bankruptcy, the airline says it will keep flying, but the airline's future restructuring will be controlled by a federal judge. United stock plummeted in after-hours trading. Pop star Michael Jackson is on trial, but it's the war of words with famed LA attorney Gloria Allred that's getting all the attention right now. CBS 2 News reporter Paul Dandridge is live up in Santa Maria with the latest twist. Paul.
Well, Drew, it's more a question of how Jackson is raising his children. That's the question that's being raised, anyway, by Gloria Allred and by others. Jackson testified today. Yesterday, he'll be back tomorrow. But overshadowing this trial is that famous shot that we saw where Jackson was dangling his 9-month-old son from a balcony in Berlin. And that is overshadowing anything that's happening here.
Jackson left the courthouse tonight without comment and without saying hello to fans who had waited for a glimpse of the pop star. He did wave an ungloved hand as he drove off. He spoke briefly coming in this morning.
Merry Christmas.
Jackson is accused of backing out of 2 concerts in Seoul and Munich. His longtime promoter suing for $21 million. On the stand, his memory has constantly failed him. His demeanor somewhat childlike, especially for a man of 44. On crutches, Jackson said he has a spider bite on his foot. He was asked about a black armband.
Power. Oh, yeah. Power.
Power from you?
The world. Not for me, man. Not for me.
The latest Jackson controversy is the dangling of his 9-month-old son from the balcony of a Berlin hotel. German authorities said they would not file any charges against Jackson. Attorney Gloria Allred said California authorities should investigate how he is caring for his children. Asked about that yesterday, Jackson was quick to react.
Tell her to go to hell.
Allred held a news conference today, reacted to Jackson.
He needs to recognize that his baby is not a toy, and that he has a duty to keep the child safe. He should attend parenting class as soon as possible to become a responsible parent.
Gloria Allred also wanted Jackson to submit himself voluntarily to a Children's Services investigation. Chances of that are unlikely at best. And of course, the people here in Santa Barbara County have said they will not investigate. Berlin is just a little bit out of their jurisdiction. But certainly the controversy is not over yet. Live in Santa Maria, Paul Dandridge, CBS 2 News. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Paul. An illegal pet shop is busted in L.A. We'll show you the nasty conditions the animals were living in.
There's been a frightening attack on a little boy. A neighbor's dog latches onto his arm and won't let go.
And 'tis the season for bright lights in the big city. We're waiting for the tree lighting happening in downtown tonight.
Police raided a pet shop in Echo Park today, citing unsanitary conditions. Take a look. The Society for the Prevention of Animal Cruelty impounded roosters, hamsters, guinea pigs, and fish. Officers shut down the Blue Reef Pet Shop, saying its license expired back in 1993. The animals reportedly needed food and water.
Officers that, upon entry, knew immediately by the smell and the condition of the cages that the animals hadn't been cared for in quite some time.
Well, that's the owner. He says he didn't do anything wrong. Gretchen?
An Inland Empire dog will be put down after it viciously attacked a 3-year-old boy. Alex Cachua was walking home with his mother Tuesday morning when the pit bull mix attacked without warning. The dog grabbed the boy by the arm, shaking him like a rag doll.
I was walking by, and then the dog just ran out.
So I come running outside, and then I seen the mother screaming and crying and saying in Spanish, "Ayúdame, help me, help me," and nobody would help her.
3-year-old Alex is expected to make a full recovery. The dog, meantime, will be destroyed.
Coming up, Byron Miranda has a delicious forecast. Byron?
Ooh, good enough to eat is what you're saying, right? Look at this behind me. In downtown, we have the tree. I thought it was lit, but it's not. When we come back, well, I guess they just lit it. Wow, that's pretty good timing. When I come back, we'll give you the weekend forecast. Maybe there's a raindrop down the road. I'll explain that. Your forecast is right around the corner.
That's the power of Byron, isn't it? And coming up for us, California might be drowning its budget sorrows with a new tax. That story next. Call it a tippler tax, a tax on every drink poured at a bar or restaurant or sporting event or concert. That's one idea being floated by LA County Supervisor Zev Yarovsky to help cut into the state's gigantic budget deficit. But the liquor lobby is not swallowing this idea easily. They say they are already subject to excise and sales taxes. Yarovsky says it is high time state lawmakers stand up to the powerful lobbyists.
Despite the health care funding crisis that's forcing the closure of 11 public health clinics, Los Angeles County will rebuild one of its busiest hospitals. It's going to cost $820 million to rebuild the County USC Medical Center. The plan calls for a new 600-bed hospital to be built on land next to the existing one. County USC was badly damaged in the Northridge quake in '94, still lacks sprinklers in several wards. The hospital treats more than 785,000 patients each year, about 35% of HIV and AIDS patients in the county.
LA's official holiday tree is shining brightly and lighting the night downtown tonight. The lights were turned on just a few minutes ago, courtesy of Byron Miranda, we think. It was at the Ernst & Young Plaza in downtown LA. More than 5,000 lights glowing on the 65-foot-tall white Douglas fir. That tree came all the way from Mount Shasta to be here with us this holiday. And just in case you were counting, it has more than 5,000 ornaments and 2,000 bows.
All of them turned on with a click of a forecaster's hand.
Oh, man, you give me
Sure
credit
looks
I
that
don't
way,
deserve.
huh?
It did look that way,
Don't
though.
say it was coincidence, Byron.
It shocked me. I was like, that looks lit to me. What are they talking about? What a beautiful sight. In fact, I think Henry is our director. Henry, if we can take that shot once again, let's show the folks at home what the tree looks like. Nice and light. Yeah, it's lit. Okay. Well, look at that for a second. I'll start to walk over. We'll give you the temperature for today. The high, the almanac shows you that the high today was, what was it? 69 degrees, right? The low was 49. 70 and 49 are your typical highs, so we're right around where we should be for this time of year. I get up the way one more time so you can see. That's a pretty shot. Okay, guys, now we can show you the temperatures across the Southland. We're in the low 60s across most of the area and high 50s in some other areas. 63 in Ontario, low 60s in Fullerton, high 50s from Riverside as well as into Santa Ana, Long Beach, Los Angeles, Santa Monica. What about Malibu and Oxnard? 56 in Malibu, 57 in Oxnard, 60 degrees right now in Burbank. And it's going to drop. The temperatures will drop tonight because of clear skies. And that is the case as you look at the satellite loop. High pressure is just to the west of us. With that high pressure, you're talking about a clockwise rotation. So the air is going to go like this. We're going to have an offshore flow. Don't worry about the Santa Anas. It won't be that big. But we do have a warm up in our forecast. Now, slight chance of fog once again along the coast and inland as we cool off during the evening hours. You know what? 43 will be the low in Burbank. 30 degrees warmer than that is 73. That will be the high in Burbank tomorrow. On Thursday, downtown LA will check in the low 70s as well as into Santa Monica. So the 3rd Street Promenade looks good. Malibu looks good at 68. 67 in Oxnard. Now Pasadena, 74. Ontario, 74. 77 will be the warm spot. That's in San Bernardino. About the same in Riverside, 76, 77. To recap again on Thursday, 72 will be the high. Fog possible. The valley's upper 60s to the low 70s in some areas, maybe even the mid 70s in other areas. Quick shout out, guys, to Bernard Shaw. Bernie Shaw is in town. I used to work with him. He's a great guy. Bernie, God bless you for watching Channel 2 while you're in Los Angeles.
Thank you, Byron.
All right, guys.
Now we check with our sister station KCAL 9 for a look at what they're working on for tonight after the Lakers game.
And Carrie Kilbride has that. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Drew. Gretchen coming up tonight. A 17-year-old student dies 1 week after marching in the Hollywood Christmas Parade. Tonight, fellow bandmates are worried that they may have been exposed to a deadly disease. Then President Bush sets out a plan to control what your kids see on the internet and how the war against terrorism could mean big profits for Silicon Valley. Those stories and more tonight after the Lakers game. We'll see you then. Now back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. Some local high school students have the true holiday spirit. We'll tell you about that coming up next. That shocking trade Jim told us about yesterday with the Dodgers is a done deal now.
It's a done deal now, and for one really basic reason, that is
the big bucks.
You better believe it. That's exactly right. It's official. The Dodgers finalized it just this afternoon, a trade that sends Eric Karros and Mark Grudzielanek to the Chicago Cubs for former Dodger catcher Todd Hundley. Now, General Manager Dan Evans is really excited about the deal and the money the team is saving.
This trade is not all about acquiring Todd Hundley. This is about giving us roster and payroll flexibility to do things in the offseason that we couldn't have done without this trade.
Meanwhile, in pro basketball, the Clippers host Pat Riley and the Miami Heat tonight at the Staples Center. The team has lost 12 of their last 18 games, but half of those defeats have been by 5 points or less. But head coach Alvin Gentry says the key to turning this thing around is simple. Just play better in the fourth quarter.
We've got to execute better down the stretch and get the ball in the basket. That's been our biggest problem. You know, when you're up 7 points,
defensive stops are important, but they're not nearly as important as getting the ball in the basket. You can trade baskets for the last 3 minutes and still win the game. And we didn't get the ball in the basket at all.
That's not what we're here for. We're not here to compete. We're here to win. No moral victories in the NBA. We're all professionals. We get paid. This is our job. So we don't want to come out and get moral victories. We want to win games, and we're good enough to win games. We just have to, focus in and take care of business.
And we'll have those highlights at 11 o'clock. In college football, UCLA's chances of beating Washington State on Saturday at the Rose Bowl may hinge on the health of Cougar quarterback Jason Gesser. Gesser practiced with the team this afternoon up in Pullman. His right ankle was heavily taped after he suffered a severe sprain in the game against Washington 11 days ago. Now, he isn't sure if he'll be able to play, but he's getting more and more comfortable with his leg.
It's getting better and better every day. Hopefully it keeps on getting that way. We thought it was going to swell up and get real bad after yesterday's practice. I mean, just getting up and doing things on it wasn't that bad. It hurt and whatnot, but just keep on trying to get better and better every day as we go along, getting ready for Saturday.
And we know what it means to USC. If UCLA wins on Saturday, USC has the bid to go to the Rose Bowl.
You better come ready to play.
He better, because they'll be ready, yes.
Thank
you, Jim.
Now we check in with Laura Diaz in the newsroom for a look at what's ahead on the CBS 2 News at 11. Laura?
Gretchen, thank you. We're following the hunt for a gunman wanted for shooting 2 people in downtown Los Angeles, killing one of them. And caught on videotape a dangerous police pursuit, whizzing through busy intersections, the suspect, a former security guard. We'll show you what happened right here on CBS 2 News at 11. Now back to you, Drew.
Thanks, Laura. Some of Santa's elves were busy at North Hollywood High today. Students and staff at North Hollywood High bought hundreds of presents to bring some holiday cheer to some needy kids. Today, the gifts and toys were all packed up for delivery. The boys and girls who get these presents are in foster care and otherwise probably wouldn't have gotten a great Christmas.
Helping make it a Merry Christmas for everyone. That's it for us at 6. For the latest local news, turn to our sister station KCAL 9 after the Lakers game. That's followed by the CBS 2 News at 11. I'm Gretchen Carr.
I'm Drew Griffin. The CBS Evening News is next. Thanks for watching.